in life, there is you, and then there's what you want. But in between you and what you want, there is a gap. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to close the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Or plain and simple, how to get what you want. For those who are new, my name's Lawrence. I'm a youth empowerment speaker. I help teens and young adults improve their mindset, beliefs, confidence, so that they can start taking ownership of their life, improving their decisions, and living the life that they want. First step, what do you want? I know that seems like a simple question. I know what I want. I want to go to college. I want to get a car. I want to get my first job. I want to get a relationship. But that's not what you want, because that's super general. That's not clear. In order to get what you want, you have to clearly know what it is. You go into a car dealership and they say, "Oh, what are you looking for?" "A car." I would assume so. But what are you looking for? "A car." So they gave you a beat up Toyota Civic. This isn't what I want. Well, you didn't say what you wanted. I want a car. I want a brand new car. Yeah, this is a brand new car. It's a Toyota Civic. It's a car. But no, I want to get a Lamborghini Urus. I want to get a Honda Civic 2024. I want this thing. You see how clear that is? If you want something, you need to clearly know what it is. I want to go to college. What for? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be an engineer? A lawyer? A architect? A musician? A painter? What do you want? Become a teacher? What do you want? If you don't clearly know what you want, it is like driving a car somewhere. It's like going on vacation somewhere. You're just throwing a dart onto a map and saying, "I'm gonna go there." You're throwing a dart blindfolded. You're driving without knowing where you're trying to go. You don't know what turn to take. You don't know the step by step. You don't know what you need to do because you don't know where you're trying to get. So before you start trying to get what you want, ask yourself, do I clearly know what I want? Do I know what I want to go to college for? Do I know what kind of car I want? Do I know what are the personality traits, the habits, the lifestyle choices of the relationship that I'm trying to get? Because you can get a car, you can get into college, you can get a relationship, you can do all these things. But in order to get what you want, you have to clearly know, what do I want? You also have to know, what do I not want? I do not want to be a doctor. I don't want that. I do not want a partner who is disrespectful. I don't want that. I do not want this. So, by knowing what you don't want, that can help you to figure out what you do want. Hopefully you guys do not hear that ambulance driving by. It is knocking me off path. But after you've figured out what you want, the next step to do is figure out, who do I need to become to get it? It's sort of like creating a video game character. You imagine the version of me that has that. What do they do? What kind of thing do they believe? What are their habits? Do they have a certain morning routine? Do they dress a certain way? Do they eat different foods? The version of me that has what I want, what are they doing? Because that version of you is real. It's in there in your head. It's kind of like Batman and Bruce Wayne, or Superman and Clark Kent, or Peter Parker and Spider-Man. It's a version of you. And you have to figure out the version of me that is able to do that, the version of me that has the car that I want, that has the relationship that I want, that's in the college that I want, that had the degree, or is living a certain lifestyle, or had their own apartment. what do they do? And this is going to be something that you understand over time. You don't ask this question once and you have it all figured out. No, you spend time figuring out, what does that person do? I'll use my own life as an example. When I first had the idea to start becoming a public speaker, to make these videos, to start doing what I do now, I had to ask myself at 15 years old, what do I need to do? You know, I wasn't saying it like this back then, but I would ask myself, what do I need to start doing to become the person that I want to be? To make a career out of this, what do I need to do? What does that kind of person do? How does he talk? How does he dress? What are his habits? What is his routine? And I realized that, oh, well, that version of me, he would make YouTube videos. So I started making YouTube videos. That version of me that is traveling across the country and doing these things, he's very consistent. He posts every day. He is knowledgeable. He's smart. He knows what he's talking about. He writes books about it. So I created a picture of the version of me that had what I want. The version of me that has his own office. Oh, he posts every day. He does coaching calls with people. He writes books. He does these sorts of things. He goes to meetings with other public speakers. This is that version of me. So I created a picture of, where am I now? Where do I want to be? Who do I need to become to get there? It's not just about what are you doing. The more important thing is, who are you being? Water, steam, and ice are 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. Regardless, it's 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. But based on how they're vibrating, based on their state of being, you get a liquid, a gas, or a solid. So ask yourself, in order to get what I want, what changes do I need to make? Do I need to remove things from my life? Certain people, habits, places, doom scrolling on TikTok, playing Xbox until 2 in the morning. And I'm talking about myself. I used to do that. I used to play my Xbox until like 2 in the morning, knowing I had school at 8. But what do I need to remove? What do I need to add? What do I need to change up in my recipe? Like, think of your goal as baking a cake. And what ingredients do I need to add in there? If I want to get a chocolate cake, what ingredients do I need to add up in there? All my life, I've been doing X, Y, Z, and I've been getting this result. But I want a different result. If you keep doing what you're doing now, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And if what you're getting right now is not what you want, you gotta change some things up. You might have to add certain habits in. You might have to remove certain things. You gotta switch up the recipe if you want a different outcome. If you put meatloaf into the oven and you want a steak, no matter how many times you put that meatloaf in that oven, you're not getting a steak. You need to know, what do I want? I want a steak. How do I want it? I want it medium rare. Okay, I could serve that up to you. Because now you know clearly, what do I want? And based on what you want, what do I need to do? Who do I need to become? What changes do I need to make? The version of me that, because when I was younger, I'd be really, really skinny. And I was insecure about that. You know, I wanted to put some weight on. I wanted to get some muscles on me. So I figured out, what do I need to do? What kind of habits do I need to do? I need to go to the gym. I need to start eating these certain foods. I need to start drinking more water. I need to do X, Y, Z. And you figure out the formula. And once you know the formula, you get up in that kitchen and you start cooking. So, to make it clear for you, after you know what exactly you want, after you know your recipe, then you get in that kitchen, you start cooking. That means you have to execute the plan. You gotta do the work. Because no amount of, I know what I want, I want it bad, I want it so bad. But what are you willing to do for it? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to change? What behaviors are you willing to do? Because to get something new, you have to start doing something new and being someone new. If somebody is 500 pounds and they want to go from 500 to 300, they have to start doing things different. They have to start eating different. They have to start going to the gym. They have to start taking different actions. But here's the problem. Here's why a lot of people regain the weight. Because deep down, they still see themselves as that 500-pound version of themselves. They have to change the identity. To get big, meaningful, lasting change, you have to be someone different. You have to be a different version of yourself. You have to go from Peter Parker to Spider-Man. You have to go from Bruce Wayne to Batman. And when you watch Batman and you're looking at how he behaves, he doesn't say, oh, I'm Bruce Wayne pretending to be somebody else. I'm a guy in a costume. No, I'm Batman. That's how he acts. But I know how cartoonish and how silly that can seem. Like, it's just a character, because it is. But it's not. It shows you an identity. Bruce Wayne acts completely different than Batman. Clark Kent acts completely different from Superman. Peter Parker acts completely different from Spider-Man. They are more confident. They're more unafraid of danger. They're willing to go out there and act in ways that Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, and Peter Parker would never act. But Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, they're out there saving people from burning buildings and doing all this crazy stuff. The point that I'm getting at is, in order for you to get what you want, because if you're anything like me, you want big, meaningful, lasting change. You're not trying to go from, I'm trying to go from making $17,000 a year to $18,000. No, that's not who my videos are for. The people who watch my stuff, you're trying to go from McDonald's to engineer. You're trying to become the first millionaire in your family. Or at the bare minimum, you're trying to leave an impact on your family. You're trying to be an inspiration to those around you. You're trying to go from, Lawrence, right now, I'm in high school, I'm failing all my classes, I'm feeling bad about myself, but I'm trying to graduate. Like, maybe that's your thing. I'm trying to go from failing all my classes to I'm trying to pass. I'm trying to become the first one in my family to graduate high school. I'm trying to become the first one in my family to start their own business. I'm trying to become the first one in my family to do something positive, to do something that's meaningful. My whole family, you might be somebody watching this who this is your situation. Your whole family might have been toxic relationships, divorce, just messy breakups. Maybe you want to be the first one in your family to have a good relationship. It might be that. And these are big things. These are things that are going to require you to sit down and identify, who do I need to be? What do I need to change up in my life? What action do I need to take? And on the day when it's hard to take those actions, you gotta recommit. You gotta put the cape back on. You gotta be Spider-Man. You gotta, suit up. That's the best way I could describe it. Because at first, it's gonna feel a little delusional. It's going to feel a little bit like, yeah, man, I want that thing, but I'm not the kind of person who I could do that. People like me don't succeed. I can't. But guess what? There's a version of you that can. There's a version of you that has it. And by knowing that version of you exists, by knowing that you can go from here to here, if you just start identifying, who do I need to become, and you create that character, and you identify, what is it? Like, what skills do I need to learn? What behavior do I need to do? What ingredients do I need to change up in my recipe if I want a different outcome? Because like I keep saying, the first step is to clearly know what you want. And then, who do I need to become? And in order to figure out who you need to become, you have to know what are those skills, what are those qualities, what are those behaviors. To become the version of you that has it, you need to know who are they? And this is the part where a lot of people will start holding themselves back because, man, I've never dreamed like that. I've never thought like that. I've never thought that, wait, it's possible. I could. I just have to change up some things. And depending on what that goal is, it's going to look different. If you want to get a healthy relationship, but every last relationship you've been in, your boyfriend or your girlfriend cheated on you, you have to go inside and figure out what is it that's causing me to end up in the same situations. And when you go deep enough, you're going to get into some like beliefs, some things that you heard growing up, some things that you went through that have left an impact on you, and it's causing you to keep getting the same result. And you're going to have to do some work to change that. You're going to have to start believing new things, taking new actions, surrounding yourself with new people. Point being, to get something different, you have to do something different and be someone different. In order for water to go from a liquid to a solid to a gas, it had to change its vibration. And the vibration of you is who you're being. You have to become that next level version of yourself. You have to identify, who do I have to become? Who do I have to become to get what I want? Because if you got it, like if tomorrow I handed you $1 million, but you don't become financially responsible, you don't become the version of you that can properly handle money and manage it, you're going to end up broke again. And broke is not a state of money. Broke is a state of mentality. Broke is not a bank account number. It is a state of mind. Because if you call yourself something, you start to become that over time. You start to believe, I am that. If you start saying that, man, I'm a failure, I'm broke, nobody loved me, I'm not going to succeed, it's not possible for people like me, mom and dad said I'm not going to be nothing. If you keep saying that over and over and over and over, you start to become that. And your life becomes that. And you start to self-sabotage. But in order to go from where you are now to where you want to be, in order to go from failing to passing, in order to go from unhealthy relationship to healthy relationship, in order to go from, man, I hate myself, to I love myself, you gotta be something different. You gotta be someone different in order to get something different. So, to make it clear, the formula to getting what you want out of life is this. Know clearly what you want. Not some vague idea of, man, I want to go to college. What do you want to go for? What college do you want to go to? Why do you want to go there? What degree do you want? What career do you want? Be clear. I want a car. What kind? What color? What model? Clearly, what do you want? I want a relationship. How do they act? How do they talk to you? What are their behaviors? What are their habits? You got to know clearly, what do you want? Then, who do I need to become to get it? If you want to go to college and become a doctor, you better start knowing how to study. You better get really good at not procrastinating. You better become focused. You better become somebody who is capable of doing the things required to pass med school. If you want to get that Lamborghini Urus, you better become somebody who is very financially smart. Because to afford a car like that, you're going to need some money. Yeah, but I can make the monthly payments. Okay, possible if you're smart with your money. So the car example, you got to be smart with your money. The relationship. I want a healthy relationship. well, you better become a healthy boyfriend. You better become a healthy girlfriend, because the person that you are, you're going to attract that. If you are unhealthy, you're cheating, you're hurting people, and this isn't to disrespect you, this isn't to shame yourself, it's just to be honest. Like, if I want a partner who is respectful, I better be respectful. If I want a partner who is loving and kind and supportive, I have to become that. So, in order to get that partner that you want, you have to become that kind of person. Then, after you know what you want clearly, and you know who you have to become, you then go, okay, to become that kind of person, what kind of thing do I need to believe? What kind of actions do I need to take? What kind of work do I need to do? What kind of ingredients do I need to put in the recipe to get the outcome that I want? And then you commit to it. You stick with it. You repeat it. On the day when you feel like going back to the old you, nope. Shut the door, throw away the key, and keep moving forward. Because in order to go from where you are now to where you want to be, there is a gap. And that gap is becoming the person who can achieve that. Becoming the person who naturally has that. Becoming the person that has what you want, has the life you want, and is capable. With that said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're looking for a speaker for your organization, podcast, or school, you can contact me at lawrence@lawrencehara.com, as well as you can find my books and one-on-one coaching in the links below. Have a good one.